Hello guys and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be going through the settings on Assetto Corsa Competizione. I've only been driving this game for about 3-4 weeks now and it's kicked my ass at every single corner. So I've gone through a few settings and made it a little bit easier for myself. These settings work okay for me. I don't know how they'll work for you. They might help, they might not. I've been taking them from other settings from other YouTubers, but everybody's got their own way of doing it. So I've put my little spin on it and this has worked out for me. I can now switch between cars. Obviously, as a new driver, you don't really want to be doing that. You want to learn in the same car all the way through. My first car, however, was the Ferrari. And unfortunately, that thing was kicking my ass all the time. I switched to a Lamborghini for quite a while and only Brands Hatch. Managed to get my skills a little bit better on there. So this is just going to be the settings that I've actually set up for myself. And I don't mean those settings, I mean the controls. So on the controls, I have the Logitech G920 and I'm playing on the Xbox Series S. So that's something to consider. My gain, I have that set at 95%. Any more than that, you do clip out a little bit. On the bottom right hand side of the screen, there is a little gauge which will let you know if you're clipping on your force feedback. You don't want that going into the red, but 95% is about my sweet spot. Minimum force is 12%, 0 dynamic damping, and 20% on road effects with the frequency at 400 megahertz. Steering lock, I've got down to 540 degrees. It gives me a little bit of play on the steering wheel. It's quite nice. I've also got my steering scale up to 130%. Now, this one is different from what you get in the car settings, but it does mean I have to work a little bit less for the corners. I was around about 120%, which was quite nice, but 130 is a sweet spot for me. It might not be for everybody, but it definitely works for me. Steer linearity, 105. I have no idea what it is, but 110 was rubbish. 105 I seem to work quite well. Brake gamma, I've got it on 1.77. Anybody who's got the Logitech G920 will know that the brakes are shite. So that definitely helps. And that is it for the wheel. Otherwise, I do have a few button maps that I've added. So I've got increased traction control for the up on the D-pad, decrease traction control on the down on the D-pad. Increase, no, I haven't got that one, never mind. Increase ABS at D-pad right, decrease ABS at D-pad left. And then I've gone for increase engine map on the Y and decrease engine map on the A button. This has all helped me sort of like have control over the car as I'm going around. I didn't think I'd need those button maps to start with because, well, I just didn't know what I was stepping into. But they have definitely helped. As your skill progresses, as your tires warm up, your engine mapping can be stepped up, your traction control can go down a little bit, and it's well worth having it so you can just do that as you're driving. Other than these, I have made a little bit of different choice as well. And that is when you're driving, you get the option of view settings. So obviously you field of view, I've got on 70% at the moment. I could actually pull it back a little bit further. Depends on yourself, really. I like to see the full window. If I can't see what's going on beside me, it makes it a little bit difficult. Driver and wheel, I've got hidden, and I do that on each car because I've got a steering wheel in front of me. It might be different if you want to play on a controller, but with a steering wheel in front of me and then a steering wheel on the TV, it kind of really didn't feel right. Dashboard display off. Look with wheel. This is something I quite like. It adds a little bit to the realism. So as you're going around the corners, you steer to the left. The car or the person looks to the left as well. It gives you a little bit more immersion. And it actually helps me take the corners. I did have it on 20% at one point. But I did feel that as I was going around the corners, I was looking too much and I would lose my line. Obviously, I might even put it back up in the future. Now I've got a few more skills down. As I say, I've done about 100 laps yesterday of Brands Hatch. I went from a time of 136 to 128, and that's by just literally cracking through these settings and then other settings on top. It's not just down to these settings though. The car settings, they do make a huge difference. I will drop a link to a video I watched on YouTube yesterday. The guy, he explains how to set the car up, or not exactly what to set the car up, because I watched a couple of those videos. I watched probably 3 or 4 different ultimate settings guides for my Lamborghini, and every one of them, none of them worked for me. It was terrible. I was all over the place and I didn't know how to fix it. So this guy that I watched the video for yesterday, his video, it actually explained what everything done. And that was it. As soon as I watched that video, I could then go get into the car and go, right, I need less understeer, oversteer. I could adjust everything and do what I needed to do rather than what somebody was telling me I should do. Everybody drives differently. There is obviously settings that could be meta, but if you can't handle that meta setup, there's no point in having those settings. But the settings I've given you today, these ones, they are just so you can actually get a good starting point. They work for me, and as soon as I got these settings in and nailed down, my times started dropping anyway. I'm now driving in not a Lambo. I can't even remember what I'm driving in at the moment, but it's doing well, and it actually transfers from car to car. The Beamer, the Lambo, the Ferrari, still a bit happy, but you can go from one car to the other. You can get a good idea of it. But when you're actually starting off anyway, you want to pick one car, learn how to drive in it, and then hope for the best. I do recommend the Lamborghini GT3 Evo 2. That one did treat me very well. But yeah, you've got to choose for yourself. What do you like? It's not all about Looks, but if you can't get around a corner, you want to choose something that's going to do it for you. Thanks for tuning in today. Hopefully this has helped. If don't forget, drop a like and subscribe, and please remember to watch another video. Every view helps, every comment helps. If you've got something that you don't agree with in my video, please let me know. I'm no expert. I've literally been playing for a few weeks and I am still learning myself. So if you've got something that you could recommend that might even shave time off my my lap times, I'll happily incorporate them into my videos in the future. But for now, thank you very much. I'll catch you again soon.